I'm going to be comparing the Scream franchise to A Man Called Otto from 2022, as well as the movie A Man Called Ove. A Man Called Otto is actually a remake of the 2015 Swedish film called A Man Called Ove. Both of these movies are based on a book called A Man Called Ove. When you look at highest score for each franchise, in the case of Scream, the second movie has an 81%. A Man Called Ove has a 91%. When you look at lowest score, Man Called Otto of Tom Hanks has a 70%. Scream 3 has a 41%. When you look at average score, A Man Called Otto and A Man Called Ove franchise has an 80%. With Scream, you got an average of 68. When it comes to gap between lowest and highest score, in the case of Scream, it's a gap of 40. With the Otto franchise, you have a gap of 21. So Otto's won every round so far, so it's going to be winning no matter what. And actually, the reason why I'm comparing Scream and the Otto franchise is that I compared in part one of the series Halloween to Scream 1. I compared the Man Called Otto franchise to the Grease franchise, Otto 1. So now I'm comparing Scream and Otto. I've seen the 2022 movie A Man Called Otto. I now actually have seen 5 out of the 6 Scream movies. I've not seen Scream 3 because it's the one movie out of these 6 that's rotten on Rotten Tomatoes. It wasn't received as well. So I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm not going to watch that one. But I have to say, no, after having watching 5 of the 6 Scream movies, I enjoy these ones. I think it's fun to have these meta, self-aware horror films where you have characters in them that are literally referencing horror films, that are in fact calling out the tropes of the genre, especially in the first film where you have that guy who is talking to all these other characters or all at this house, and he's saying, hey, there are certain rules you have to observe in order to survive a horror movie. 1, don't ever drink. 2, don't ever smoke. 3, don't ever have sex. 4, do not ever under any circumstances say, I'll be right back, because you won't be back. There's a part in one of these movies where the point is made, hey, don't ever go down into a dark basement alone in a horror movie. Also, what's funny about these movies is that inside of the world of Scream, you have these movies called the stab movies, which are made that are based on the events of the Scream movies. That's pretty funny. It's a movie within a movie. Literally, right at the start of Scream 2, you have characters going to a movie theater to watch a stab movie that's based on the events of the Scream movies. There are other examples of this too, or characters, especially like the 4th, 5th, and 6th film, are talking about all these things that usually happen when you do a requel, a legacy sequel, reboot, anything like that. Or you have a moment where characters are in a film class, they're talking about all these different movies. It makes Scream stand out among horror slashers. These movies do something that's memorable, like how Nightmare on Elm Street stands out because you have this idea of people being killed in a dream. That's different. Whereas you think about something like Texas Chainsaw Massacre, it doesn't really have something that makes it stand out. I mean, maybe you could argue the thing that makes it stand out is that it is based on true events, at least to some degree. But I don't know. It doesn't really have something that's as fun as Scream or Nightmare on Elm Street. But also, I think there are characters in the Scream movies that you become invested in. I think there's good acting in these movies. Well told stories. I like the way they look. I think it's interesting that unlike other horror franchises where you have one monster, you have Freddy Krueger or Jason Voorhees or Leatherface, one character. In the case of Scream, it's all these different people that are wearing the ghost face costume, using this technology to change their voice to do the ghost face voice. I think that's pretty interesting. Now, I'm definitely a fan of the 2022 movie A Man Called Otto. I think it both has solid moments of humor as well as a good emotional core to it. Or Tom Hanks is playing this guy Otto, who at first is very cranky and grouchy, but you totally get where that's coming from because he lost his wife and now he feels that he doesn't have anything to live for. He doesn't have any reason to keep going. So we see at the beginning he's literally trying to kill himself, but fortunately he has neighbors that refuse to give up on him, that go over to and visit him, and thus because of that he gains a purpose again. He has something to live for. And when he actually does pass on at the end of the movie, he's actually at peace because he knows there are people who will mourn me, who will grieve for me when I'm gone. I've left an impact on this world, a positive one. I've helped other people, so I'm not going to die alone, unloved, unwanted. No, because I actually have friends that will go on. I'm going to leave what I have to them so they can have good lives. I think it's really powerful, especially when he takes his newfound friends to his wife's grave, or when he meets this kid who was helped out by his wife. He learns, oh, this kid was in one of her classes and she left a positive impact on him. It really helps Otto to actually begin to heal from the loss that he suffered. Also, I think there's good visuals in this movie. Of course, it's not super flashy, but the visuals absolutely get the job done. There's good music as well. I definitely enjoy A Man Called Otto for sure. But if I had to choose which franchise I prefer, I'm definitely going Scream, and it's already going to. Actually, A Man Called Otto is a franchise that's going to win in this case, but I would personally choose the Scream movies. That'll be it for this one.